I can
Now,
hear you with that.
now that the Giants have a new system scheme and he's probably going to be the number one option,
Mhm.
I feel like it's fair to put him in a tier with like Cooks and like that regard.
Okay. Um. Okay. Wait, who are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Darius Slayton.
Oh, Darius Slayton. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I think that when we're talking about Slayton, somebody who's gotten so like just injured and banged up so many times, but yet he has so many skills. So if he can just like string one season together of just playing 16 to 17 games, he can really help Daniel Jones. And I think Jones has missed that. I don't know why this ain't working, but Jones has really missed that, from Slayton, because I feel like he's one of those high upside dudes that if he can just play 16 to 17 games, he's gonna be a very potent part of this offense. So I agree. Yes, sir. Let me just send this out real quick to some people, and here we go. So when we are thinking of the next tier, we're talking about quality too. So these are number two guys, not high upside, just quality number two guys. They're no one's sleeping on them. Like they're straight up, like they're not great number twos. We're talking about guys like Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Jalen Wild, Devontae Smith. But we're talking about guys that are number twos that still have like a really high. They bring a lot to the team. They're not going to be a number one, but they're going to be a number two. And I'm thinking of Gabe Davis right here as a Bills fan. I'm thinking Gabe Davis. I don't think that he's a high end number two, but I definitely think that he's a solid number two, and that's who we're really trying to think of here.
I think I missed one on the high upside.
Mm-hmm.
The one that came directly to mind when it said number two is Jerry Jeudy.
Okay, yeah, we can do Jerry Jeudy.
He hasn't really gotten the chance to prove himself in like a weird Broncos offensive scheme, and there was talks about him being traded to the Giants, to a few different teams, and I'm very high on him. I love Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
He has all the tools in the right system to be an amazing number two option.
Absolutely. Now, when we're looking at Gabe Davis, who's just like a really solid number two, is he on this list? Because I'm not finding Gabe Davis.
Hold up.
He's here, which is tough because he's a good player. So I don't think he's here, but that's okay.
Gabe Davis.
I don't
also, sorry, chat, that I'm like right up in the camera. I'm just zooming in and looking. I see Cortland Sutton there, which is a number two with high upside.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at Sutton as well. Gabe Davis isn't here, which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, he's definitely
that's crazy.
Number two. When we're talking about other quality number twos, I think in Brandon Ayuk, because he's just that number two to Deebo Samuel, not like a star or anything like that, but he's definitely a good player, and he's got that upside to be maybe a high end number two, but he's just not there yet just yet. When you're thinking about quality number two guys, who else are you thinking
of? He's not a number two guy, but I would say Deebo Samuel also.
But wouldn't he be like? I would put him in a lead, kid.
You think?
Yeah. Who would be the number one if it's not Deebo and San Fran?
I mean, no one in San Fran. I'm just saying in the tier of wide receivers.
Yeah, I know, but like I feel like in this you have to like think about what the team that they're on.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, right. I think that another guy that you're looking at is Tyler Lockett for solid.
100%. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he could be. I think that the whole high end number two for Tyler is a little bit behind him, and I think that they got JSN now. That he's probably going to slide into that number two at some point. But for quality number twos right now, as we stand right now, I'm thinking Tyler Lockett 100%. Lock that in.
For sure.
Right. I mean, he's just been somebody who's been so solid. He was a number one at one point in his career. That's kind of behind him at this point. But, with DK being the obvious number one there in Seattle. But Tyler Lockett's got to be a quality number two. He's very solid. Now when we move into like the quality slot guys, which I guess the difference between high-end slot and quality slot is the same, right? Adam Thielen, completely a high-end guy for the slot because he's been there his entire career. Yeah. We're talking about quality slot guys, so a little bit lower, but he's still in that, threshold of being a slot receiver, one of those guys who's like, they play the game the right way. He's like a Cole Beasley, like a Danny Amendola. He would be like in that. So when I'm thinking about somebody like that, who are we thinking about when it's just talking about like a quality slot guy?
Quality slot guy, I would probably. I mean, I had him in fantasy this year. He didn't do that great. But if I'm thinking like just a quality slot, I'm going probably Allen Robinson.
Robinson. Okay. Okay. Yeah, he didn't do so well. I mean, I thought that year was going to be a lot better for him than it actually turned out to be, which was really too bad. But
I think I'll have a better year this year, but last year it was just not the best.
now I am confused right now because I think I might have messed up. When we're talking about the quality too high upside, did I put Slayton when I was supposed to put Shepard, or was I right with Slayton?
No, you're right with Slayton. I think
Okay,
I think
right.
Slayton has more upside than Shepard.
Yeah. I think that Slayton's actually a really good player as well. So I think that also Michael Pittman is a quality slot guy. I think that we're talking about Michael Pittman. We're talking about quality slot guys.
I'd even put him a little higher.
Oh, really? Where would you want to put Michael Pittman?
Michael Pittman Jr., I would put either quality 2 or quality 2 high upside because he hasn't really had the quarterback to show what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, he still had a very good year. Again, he was on my fantasy team. I enjoyed having him every week because even with his limited not touches, but like when you have a handicap at quarterback and still are able to make plays like he did last year, I think that puts him right around quality 2 high upside as well. My audio is a little messed up. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I was just on mute by accident.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, so we're good. So yeah, Paul Pittman, and I really like his YouTube channel as well. He's had a pretty good career with that as well. I think that was a pretty good decision by him to kind of merge the whole football thing and having a little YouTube channel along with it. That was pretty cool by him, and he's pretty entertaining. So that's good. Now, when we're talking about other quality slot guys, I mean, we haven't put anybody in just yet. I just want to talk about AJ Brown right here. I want to put I think we might just start putting like the top of these guys and just put them in.
I feel like it'd be more efficient if we went with who's at the top of the list and then decide where they go.
Yeah, I agree. We should have done that the whole time. So then we're talking Alec Pierce. I would say he's like
I would say interesting prospect.
Interesting prospect. Yeah, I really don't know where to place him. I would say
I know that you're starting to get into sports cards. The sports cards market on him right now is high. Like people are starting to collecting him because they think that he's going to do good with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, and they think that he's going to have a boom. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I would say he's definitely an interesting prospect to look out for.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. When I'm getting the cards a lot, and Pierce, I've seen him a lot. Like with the signatures, like it's worth a lot of money. So I wouldn't.
I have his autograph too. I'm holding on to that for a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. So we can't put him as like a fourth option. I think that he actually has a lot of upside. So we're not going to put him in that quality number 2 high upside guy, but we'll definitely put him as an interesting prospect. Now, when we talk about Allen Robinson, who's up next here, that's somebody that we're definitely talking about, like quality slot guy, right?
Yeah.
Obviously didn't do too well last year, but he's still we know him as a really good player. And I think that he will, turn it around this year a little bit for himself. He's just, he needs that opportunity to be with somebody. I thought that last year was it, after the Rams win the Super Bowl, he goes there, but obviously didn't work out. But this year, new situation, maybe it works out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, who's up next? We're talking about Amari Rodgers. Yeah, he's one of those guys who.
Huh?
What would you say, so? What would you say?
I'm not familiar with his game, so I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not fair for me to judge where he's at. This is the first time I'm hearing his name. So
Amari Rodgers, yeah. I mean, he was one of those guys that was, he was a Packer with Aaron Rodgers. One of my boys is a huge Packers fan. I wish we had Mike here right now because he's a Packer guy. He would help us with this. But Amari Rodgers, he fumbled a lot. He just wasn't an option that Rodgers really enjoyed. So they kind of moved on from him. So yeah, when we're talking about a guy like Murray Rogers, we're gonna just put him as a solid fourth option. He's kind of a kick returner at this point, but he really doesn't have good hands. I don't think that he's a really good option for any team at this point. When we talk about so when we're talking about Amon-Ra, St. Brown, I'm saying borderline elite.
I'm so high on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that with the Lions' plans for this year, and him obviously going to be the number one option, I'm putting him right in the same tier as Keenan Allen.
Okay, perfect.
Can't put him up with like Jeff, Jamar, them just yet, but he's going to be damn near up there for a long time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Amon-Ra has that ability to become elite, and he's in that Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs area after this season or after the season after that. I mean, like, he's got such upside that he's borderline elite, and he hasn't been in the league that many years. So very impressive player. He's helped Jared Goff exponentially in his kind of turnaround from LA to Detroit. So I'm very excited about St. Brown and the Detroit Lions as a whole. So when we go into Bryan Edwards next, I personally, even as an NFL nut, I've actually never heard his name. So
I'm gonna do my best owl impression. Who?
I think we can just say unproven, undecided. I don't know who that is. So we're gonna move on to Treylon Burks, who's a very, very interesting guy. Now, when we're talking Burks, we're talking a guy that he's a Titan. Am I correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, right. He's a Titan, and they wanted him to basically be the new AJ Brown when they traded AJ Brown. I'm believing that. If I'm not wrong, they traded.
I don't think that he's filled those shoes at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But they traded him to Philly, AJ, on draft night 2 years ago, and then they drafted Burks, and they were like, and all the Titans fans were like, oh well, he'll just be the new AJ Brown, which was really, really, really just falsified this year. I don't think that could possibly happen, especially with what AJ's done, ever since becoming a Philly Eagle. So I think that we're going to go with Burks. I think we should put him as just like interesting prospect in that Alec Pierce type role. Yeah. Burks, he has that ability, but I think that a little bit too much pressure was put on him. So yeah. Now, when we're looking at the next tier, and the player, we're looking at CeeDee Lamb. I think that's just like a high end too. I really do. I think that I mean, at this point, he's a 1 though, right?
He's the number 1 for the Cowboys.
He's the number 1 for the Cowboys. So it's really hard to put him at high end too.
I'm putting him, and it pains me to say this as a Giants fan, but I'm putting him between high end 2 and borderline elite.
Yeah, I think that at this point he might be borderline elite. It's unbelievable to think about, but I think that he is. I think that he's done so much, and it's like I want to put him high end 2, but he's not a 2. Right? It's like I can't put you at 2 if you're actually a 1, and in that case, I'm going to put you in borderline elite. And he's just been an unbelievable player. We saw him in Oklahoma when he made that one-handed catch in college. I was like, this guy, whoever drafts him, is just going to have a stud on their hands for years to come. And I think that Dallas definitely has that with CeeDee Lamb. So when we're moving on now to Chase Claypool, what are we thinking for Chase Claypool, man? That's a really interesting one.
I think he's a TikTok star for sure.
Sure is.
Hang on, sorry. I think. I'm putting him at quality 2.
Quality 2. All right. Now,
I feel like he's on the Steelers still, right?
Claypool. No, he's not on the Steelers, bro. He's a Bear at this point.
Oh, Bear.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn, that's tough.
It's tough because he has a lot of talent. Just
I'm between high upside and just regular quality too. Because they got, who's the guy that they just got? DJ Moore, who's going to be their number 1 option, 100%. Claypool, I think, can fill in like that type of T. Higgins type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not Josh Allen. Wow, Justin Fields isn't like the greatest passing quarterback. Like he can pass for sure. He's not the greatest, but he's better on his feet. I'd probably put him at probably quality two high upside.
Absolutely. And he's a guy that has like a lot of, talent, and he came in with the Steelers and, Big Ben's last couple of years, and then he got a little too much like about himself, and that wasn't really what Pittsburgh's all about. Mike Tomlin started to really not like him, and it was pretty obvious why. And I guess now he's a Bear, and we'll see what he can do with Justin Fields. I don't hate what Chicago's creating over there and in the Windy City. So I'm excited for them. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool. They got some really good running back options. They got Tremaine Edmonds on defense from my Bills. It's going to be actually a really exciting period for the Bears. So when we're talking Chase Claypool, we're talking exciting team for sure. Now we go move on to Christian Kirk. Now, Christian Kirk is somebody who is
amazing year for the Jaguars.
Yeah. He's just been solid, man. He's not bad. He's not an elite quality guy. I'm talking, quality number 2, high upside to high end slot guy. That's who I'm talking when I'm talking Christian Kirk. What about you?
But I wouldn't. I feel like in that case we'd have to move Thielen, because that's just disrespectful to Christian Kirk to put them in the same tier.
Yeah,
I feel
put him in high end too. Can we put Kirk at high end too? Is that possible?
Yeah, but he's also a 1. But then you have Calvin Ridley coming back too.
He's not a number 1 if Calvin Ridley's back. No, he's not.
I think Ridley hasn't played in over a year.
Where do you want to move?
I'll put him high end 2.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree. And we're gonna do this we're not gonna like Cooper's here, Higgins is there. I'm not gonna do it like that.
Right.
Like it's not like Devontae's worse or whatever. I'm not gonna do it like that. But yeah, Kirk's definitely in that range of high end too with those guys. He had an unbelievable year last year, and it was really unexpected, for a team like the Jags, the Jags, just to talk about them for a second, they were in a game with Kansas City at Arrowhead early in the year, and they were blown out, and they were, I think, like 3-7 or something like that. And then a couple of weeks later, they're in the playoffs against Kansas City, and they're in the game. Obviously it wasn't a great game, and it wasn't like a all-time great matchup between the two teams, but it was incredible to see that they were able to win a playoff game, get to the postseason, win a playoff game, and then they were in Kansas City for a second round. When the first time they played the same season, nobody thought that nobody thought there was any chance that Jacksonville would be there. I thought they had a really good chance all year just because of how poor the Titans were playing. And then Christian Kirk was a huge part of that turnaround. So very excited for them as well.
I'm very high on Christian Kirk. I think that he's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
I think even with Ridley back, he could still be the number 1 guy. But yeah, I think right now it's appropriate to put him where he's at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Speaking of studs, we got Cooper Kupp on the way.
Got Cooper Kupp, who's obviously going to be in the elite category.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. I think we're going Cooper Kupp. We're definitely going to put him in that elite category. He's right there with the Justin Jeffersons, with the AJ Browns of the world. I'm gonna Cooper Kupp. He's an unbelievable player. He's got to be in that. He's got to be in that tier 1. I know that he had a lot of injuries, but he's going to be back. He's going to be better than ever. He's going to be. Just for God's sake, he just won the Triple Crown. The last time we basically saw him play at full strength, and he was the Super Bowl MVP. So,
and when you're talking like pure pass catchers, it's like he has a magnet on his hands. It's like if you throw the ball his way, even if he's in like double coverage, he's gonna come down with the ball. It's just fantastic to watch.
It really is. It's really fun to watch him because and just to see him, win the Super Bowl with Stafford and basically their first year together, right? It was unbelievable to watch. We always saw him with Goff, and I knew that he would. I kind of wronged him for a Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman type player, and he is just so much more than that. He's proven, because those guys were never in that Justin Jefferson. Like, they wouldn't be in that tier now, but Cooper Kupp is absolutely, and he could totally be above those guys. Come 2024, he could totally be back. Just above Justin Jefferson, above Devontae Adams, and I wouldn't be surprised. So, Kupp definitely going to go in the elite category for us. Corey Davis is next on the ledger. What do you think, Corey Davis?
I think we can both agree that he's probably quality slot down in that range.
Yeah.
Again, when you have Zach Wilson throwing you the ball, it's a little hard to string some plays together. I hate Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So I had a bet every week. Sorry, this is a little off topic. I had a bet with my boy every week that he'd have to give me $5 every week that Zach Wilson didn't have 250 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and I never had to do anything once. So, so when you have a quarterback like that throwing you the ball, it's a little hard to judge where you're at. I think that he did okay with the touches that he was getting, but I would not put him any higher than like quality slot.
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree with you. We're gonna put him in quality slot just because to put him in. I mean, putting him with Allen Robinson's crazy, honestly.
Exactly. So that's why I think even a little more down.
But he's not an interesting prospect, and he's not a solid fourth option. So it's kind of like just that last category where I'm gonna put him in.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll roll with it. No problems with that.
Wait, did you move him down or no?
Huh?
Did you move him down or no?
No, he's in quality slot.
Oh, okay.
Now we're talking about Jamison Crowder. So Jamison Crowder, who is now a New York Giant.
New York Giants, baby.
He's a New York Giant. He was a Bill last year and a Jet the year before. He played the first 2 games of the Buffalo Bills season last year. He played against the Rams. He played against the Titans. They won both games. Jamison Crowder was actually a pretty decent addition, and he was in preseason. He was actually playing really well. He played really well in preseason. One of my best friends, who's a Bills fan, we said Jamison might be very important on this team. And then I think it wasn't a torn ACL, but it was like a torn something in his leg, right? It might have just been like a broken. I think he might have broke his leg in the Titans game, and he was out for the whole entire year. We missed Jamison Crowder. We just got driving home right now. Telling us DJ takes. We did not. I don't know if that's John or not. By size bikes, it might be.
If you're talking about Daniel Jones, I haven't talked about him yet. So
we haven't talked about him yet. We'll get him on the pod at some point, I'm sure, tonight. But yeah, when we are talking a guy like Jamison Crowder, I think he's a solid fourth option. I don't know about what you think.
I mean, yeah, as a Giants fan, that's exactly where he's going to be on our roster. Because we have Campbell, Slayton, Shepard. I'm completely blanking. Who's the guy we just drafted?
Jalen Hyatt.
Hyatt. Yeah, he's going to be like the fourth or fifth option, and I think that he'll excel in that role for sure when given the opportunity.
I agree. I think that he's a good player, and he actually had a really good career in Washington early in his career. And I wish that there was kind of an option for washed on this thing, but there's not. He's kind of washed, so at this point, we're just going to say solid fourth.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Can I edit these? Oh, I can. I can edit these. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that – okay.
Yeah, so just make the last one wash.
Can I do that?
Can you? Wait, try clicking on it too.
I don't think I can.
Edit label text.
Add a row. Oh, I can add a row, yeah. Okay.
Oh, bet.
Yeah.
That would be nice to know. I would have thrown like 7 of these guys.
We'll say wash for this last one. And for washed, I'm still going to put Crowder in solid fourth option. He really is.
Yeah.
But there are certainly guys that are washed on this in one of the wide receivers that we will be able to put on there. So, Curtis Samuel. What are our thoughts? I love Curtis Samuel. When he was, what was he? He was a Carolina Panther, I believe, and now he's in Washington.
I believe so.
Curtis Samuel is, in my opinion, he's a quality number 2. He really is. That's just what I see when I see Curtis Samuel. He's in that Brandon Ayuk, Courtland Sutton. I really like Curtis Samuel. I think he's. If you agree, I think that's where he is.
I'll agree with that. I'm not like insanely familiar with this game, but I hear his name from time to time with like a good performance and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll agree with you. You know more about him than I do. So
Yes, sir. Curtis Samuel's a good player. Devontae Adams. Oh man.
elite.
Yeah.
No debate at
Yeah.
all.
Absolutely. We're going Devontae Adams. He's an unbelievable player.
Franchise game changer, except the Raiders.
It's a little sad about what happened to him when it comes to going to play with your best friend in Las Vegas and finally leaving your MVP quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, and then it doesn't work, and then your best friend is now a New Orleans Saint, and now you got to deal with whatever's going on with your quarterback situation with Jimmy G. But he's still an elite player. He's a franchise game changer. He is a Super Bowl champion.
I honestly think that the Raiders are going to do better with Jimmy G at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. Yeah, it's
For
very
sure.
possible. Yeah. I mean, he's a winner, right? One thing you can say to Jimmy G, he's a winner. And
he's a very good game manager for sure when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like it feels like every year with Jimmy G, it's like, okay, so he's not elite, right? He's not an elite quarterback, but why is he in these games when elite quarterbacks are not in these games? Now, it'll be very interesting to see him not with the 49ers. It'll be very interesting to see him not with an elite defense for the first time. I mean, they have a good defense, but it's not elite.
I think that's a fair ranking for him.
Sure. Yeah, elite. I mean,
he can't be anything but elite. Like he's a top 5 receiver every year, arguably top 3. Yeah, it was a down year because they were just not having a good year at all. But now with the changes they have coming in, I expect a Devontae Adams type season.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'm excited to see him. And Jimmy G is such like I know he's a game manager, but he's so just steady and solid that Devontae's going to like that. He's going to like a guy that can just kind of get him the ball, feed Devontae. I'm sure Jimmy G goes to bed every night saying, I'm going to feed Devontae this year.
Oh, I can't wait.
If I need to do anything this year, what Raider fans want, I want to. That's all I can. I don't think he's ever had a player like that other than Deebo Samuel, who we have, by the way, next on the ledger. So for Deebo Samuel, a running back / wide receiver, I mean, I'm moving him right to a lead. He's a guy that improved himself in the playoffs. He proved himself with just unbelievable plays, breaking defenses, having that ability to play both positions, and just it's been really, really fun to watch him. Do you have any complaints with me putting him in elite?
I was thinking more borderline elite. When they were using him strictly as a wide receiver, I think that he did very well. But now he's not playing the traditional wide receiver role, right? He's running jet sweeps. He's running the ball, being an option on like RPOs, things like that. I feel like the 49ers have just taken him away from like the traditional wide receiver role. And when he plays wide receiver, I know that he's good, but that's not like exactly what he is. And I feel like that's tarnished his game just a little bit, especially toward the end of last season. So I would put him more in borderline. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, when we're looking at a guy like Deebo, and then we're looking at guys like Amon-Ra and CD, he does fit in that. In my opinion, he also fits with those guys in the elite category, but he also fits with the borderline guys. I think that those guys, it's very close, man. I think that there's like the 1 and the 2, and he's a 1B. He's not 1. He's not 2. But
he's right in the middle, which is why
I wish there was
that's why it's a borderline.
I wish there was like a right in the middle here, like I could put him right there, but I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I really like Deebo. He's a game changer. He just breaks defenses, man. I mean, like in Madden, I don't play it anymore, but like I'm pretty sure they made a formation for Deebo Samuel because it was like,
well, yeah, so it's just the 49ers offense, yeah.
Right, yeah, but like EA was like, we have to make a thing for Deebo. That's just unbelievable. Nobody else has that. Every other receiver is just very good, but like
they have options where it's like fake jet sweeps where you think that it's going to him, and then all of a sudden, McCaffrey's running the ball, and then you have the regular jet sweep where it's Deebo running the ball on the outside. things like that. And those are things that he excels in because, again, it's not – coaches aren't used to putting defenses up against that because it's so new to the game and teams are trying to adjust to make wide receivers be more like Debo, which, again, is why I could see why he would be in the elite category. But I just don't think he's quite there in terms of, like, again, Jay Jettas, Devontae, players like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So, yeah, we'll move on to that 1B category. Now we're looking about the next person is Devin Duvernay. Now, if you're not a Ravens fan, you might have not heard of Devin Duvernay. I personally know him as being like one of the better kick returners around the league.
I personally also I'm like high on the Ravens too, so I definitely know Devin Duvernay. Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
You're good.
But yeah, I would put him as like an interesting prospect, quality slot kind of guy. Because you're bringing Odell to that team, you're bringing in Zay Flowers, who I was very high on. Zay Flowers is probably going to be the best wide receiver in that draft, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that interesting prospect, quality slot kind of guy is definitely where I would put him.
I agree. I mean, if it wasn't undecided or unproven, I think he's proven a little bit as like an interesting prospect. I think that he has that ability to become, a quality slot guy. But right now, he's just an interesting prospect. He's in that Traylon Burks, Alec Pierce here, and I think there's no doubt. So we will move on. We'll move on to it's it's DeAndre Hopkins, y'all. DeAndre Hopkins is next, and it's hard, man. He doesn't have a team currently, and there's a lot of teams going after him. He went to Nashville. He did not leave with a contract from Tennessee.
Did he have his meeting with the Patriots yet?
He didn't have his meeting with the Patriots yet. He did not. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes, and maybe he'll leave Foxborough, Massachusetts with a new contract from the Pats. I honestly see that happening. Now, when we're talking about where he ranks on this tier list, I think that he's an S-tier elite type guy. He, for years, at least 3 or 4 years, he was known as the best receiver in football in Houston with Deshaun Watson. He goes to Arizona. It was just not a good fit with him and Kyler in that offense. They weren't really able to do too much. They had that one really, really solid year in 2021, I believe, and then they lose to the Rams in the playoffs. But when we're talking about D-Hop, I still think that he's an elite player. What do you think?
My thing for D-Hop is, we saw what he does with Kyler Murray at quarterback. Obviously, like you said, he didn't really fit the offensive scheme. But how long was he a Cardinal for?
I mean, basically 2020, 2021, and 2022.
Yeah, so I feel like it's solely going to depend on where he ends up. I feel like if you have Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi alternating you touches, he'll be more in like the borderline elite. If he goes to the Bills or Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Pat Mahomes, again, he'll be elite in both of those. Given where I think he's going to go, which is going to be the Chiefs, as much as that pains me as a Giants fan because we need a wide receiver one. So D-Hop, if by any chance you're watching this, please come to the Giants. Please.
I'm sure
I would put him in the elite. I'll agree with you. Kyler's obviously, I'm not high on Kyler at all. But like, especially after like the ACL tear. So I forget who their backup quarterback was that was giving him touches.
Was it Colt McCoy? Was it? I mean, there's so many. I think that I think that next week we should do a backup quarterback tier list because I love.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Tyrod Taylor number one.
Yeah. I love backup quarterbacks.
But yeah, I'll put D-Hop number one, or not number one. Wow, elite.
Elite, yeah, absolutely. He's a number one if we're talking that. I will say we don't have maybe not DeAndre Hopkins watching this, but we do have A Hopkins watching this, I think. So
yeah,
probably the only last name of all these guys that we have somebody watching. Um,
Well, I know no one has my last name, so I can tell you
nah,
that.
definitely not. Or me. But so next, right? We're looking at it's Stephon Diggs. It's
Ugh.
uh,
I think he belongs in that wash tier.
he's washed, man. He had his best year 2 years ago. Now he's bad. Nah, he's
Yeah,
elite.
once he left Minnesota, all downhill. I'm kidding, by the way, for anyone watching.
He's
Yeah,
definitely elite. But
elite without a doubt.
he's elite, right? But it's just as a Bills fan, he's just a head case, man. He's a head case. That's
He's a
it.
drama queen.
He's a drama queen. I saw somebody was asked the other day, can men be drama queens? Yes.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs.
They are drama queens, we are drama queens like by nature, really, and Stephon Diggs really fits that threshold 100%. He's just been he was so great. He came from Minnesota. He was so great coming to Buffalo, and it's gone downhill. He had his best year his first year, really good year his second year, and then a good year last year. But why is he having so many off-field problems? It's like why
Because they don't give him the ball in the playoffs. It's always Gabe Davis or going to like Cole Beasley. I saw getting more touches than him. It's like if I were him, I would feel disrespected in that regard. If you're giving a washed Cole Beasley touches over a top 5, arguably wide receiver in the NFL, it just doesn't make sense. And I know that a lot of teams went like the Giants route in the playoffs of covering the number one option, like we did against the Vikings. John, strictly talking to you on there. Uh, but no, I think that they're just not utilizing the way they should.
I agree. It's I agree, but also when it comes to the playoffs, these teams seem to scout him really, really well, and they play him really, really well. They defend him really, really well. They have Diggs basically doubled all game. They didn't in the Miami game this year because Miami's just not on par, but Cincinnati had him double. Kansas City two years ago in that unbelievable game where it kept on going back and forth, goes to overtime, and the Chiefs, in ultimately win the game, right? Diggs had like 7 yards, I believe. It was crazy to watch, but Gabe Davis had like 200, and it was because Diggs was being doubled, maybe even tripled. Um, I think that these teams that are on that, like if you face a Raiders or you face a Bears, obviously Diggs is going to get open against these corners and safeties that aren't on the same level. But then you face a Bengals and you face Chiefs with Tyrann Mathieu and they have these guys. It's just a lot harder for him to get open because they're doubling him, and it just becomes really, really tough for him. So I understand the frustration, but it's also kind of it's a play to him. Josh can't look at you if you're going to be doubled. I'm going to look at somebody that's, maybe open. It's just what he has to do. He's not going to force the ball into Steph because then it's just not a good situation.
Yeah, it's also on Josh a little bit because one thing that Josh tends to do is when he wants an option, his eyes will go right to them. And a good defender will pick up on that like that. So if you look right at Diggs about to throw him the ball, that's why they moved to him. In like a double team type of scenario. If you don't focus on him at all, let's say, like send him like on a fly, on a slant, like things like that, look like instantly shift your eyes the other way, but use like your peripheral vision to like see where Diggs is at, and then do it like kind of that way. And then I feel like he'd be much more successful in getting playoff touches.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. When Josh is like looking in one direction, sometimes it's just like, and he goes that way. I'm like, no, it wasn't okay. You should have pumped or made some kind of other decision, or maybe he doesn't. He's a top 3 quarterback. He does an unbelievable job, and he's just really elite at with his eyes. And sometimes he's able to like look off a guy and throw somewhere else, but sometimes he also doesn't do that. And that's when he throws his picks, and defenders in the playoffs pick him off. It's a lot easier to do. So. You're right. I think that there's a way to get a guy like Diggs open in the playoffs. I don't. Maybe they're not trying as hard as they need to be, and they're like, "Hey, listen." I think that sometimes the Bills will say, "Hey, if they're going to double Diggs, we'll just find the other guys." But the other guys aren't Stephon Diggs. So they're not gonna get open or maybe catch the ball like he can do. And sometimes when Diggs gets the ball, he turns 8 yards into 20, and it's like Dawson Knox isn't gonna do that. Gabe Davis doesn't necessarily do that. He kind of just makes the catch, goes down, whatever. That's why you're a quality 2 and not elite. Sometimes you have to make a bigger effort to get the ball to Steph Diggs, and there are ways to do that. Ken Dorsey in his first year as the OC obviously didn't do that too well against Cincinnati, but he still had a really good year, and he was well over 1,000 yards. So he's definitely a quality coach in I'm saying. Yes, no doubt.
I play Madden a lot. I get a lot of pickups from that.
So yeah, when we're talking about a guy like Diggs, he's obviously elite, but the Bills can definitely use him better and in better ways when it comes to the playoffs, because he still hasn't had like an elite game in the playoffs, in my opinion. As a Bill. Now we move on. We're not going to be able to do all these guys, by the way.
I think we should cut the explanation on guys that like don't need it, and then
Deontay Johnson, right? We're gonna go.
I'm putting quality slot.
Quality slot. It's kind of where I was going, right?
Yeah.
DJ Chark, right? Let's go.
Interesting prospect.
At this point. He's a little older. DJ Moore.
I think that he has very high upside. He's above the number 2. I think he's either high end slot or.
He's not a slot there though. We still only have one for high end slot because there really aren't that many slot guys anymore.
Yeah,
we're gonna go DJ Moore in that high upside. Because listen,
he's gonna ball out this year, like absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not putting DJ Moore under Christian Kirk. I'm not doing that. It's that he's not a 2.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
but he's gonna be the number 1 there. So it's like
I'm gonna put him at borderline elite. He's actually
okay. Really I can agree with that.
Yeah, he's not a 2, so I can't put you at 2. I think that this is a little flawed, right? There's too many 2s right here. Way too many 2s. But anyways, there's no 3, but that's neither here nor there. Now, when we're talking DK Metcalf, also borderline elite. Borderline elite. Not elite, but close. Drake London, absolutely interesting prospect. Too young.
I think he's higher than that.
You think so? I mean,
again, I'm big into sports cards.
Isn't he unproven?
His sports card market is through the roof.
I know, but
him and Desmond Ridder, because they're both going to be starters, probably number 1 options on their team.
So what do you want to put him at? High upside?
I wouldn't put him up there, no.
I'm going to put him as on – because he's not a quality slot or a quality number 2.
Yeah, and he's going into, his second year, third year?
Yeah, I'm putting his second. I'm going to put him as an interesting prospect.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore. Yeah.
Washed?
No. I'm going to put him as a solid number 4. I don't know who this is. Oh, Dwayne Eskridge. Yeah, he's also a solid number 4. That's not –
Who?
There you go. Russell Gage.
Who?
Gage he's been a journeyman at this point, man. He was a Falcon. He was a Buck. I'm sure Sam has to say something about Russell Gage, but I'm gonna also put him as. I mean, we have these solid number 4 options. Gallup is a beast, right? Gallup is a very, very good player.
Yes, I think he's the high upside to kind of.
Absolutely, he's right next to that Pittman, Judy, Slayton.
Yes, exactly.
That's perfect for him. Yeah, that's perfect for him. I love that for him. Garrett Wilson, that's also
such high upside.
Right
you have
there.
Zach Wilson throwing you the ball, and you still have over 1,000 yards in a season. Like he's with Aaron Rodgers slinging him the rock, and him arguably going to be the number 1 option on that team. I would even put him in high end. Like he's going to have such a good year.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but I put Chris Godwin in high end too. I think there's no doubt.
That's fine. Yeah.
AJ Green washed because did he retire?
I think so.
Yeah, so he's washed. Nicole Hardman, quality slot.
Yeah.
Right. He's awesome when it comes to because now he's not a Chief anymore, right? And that's gonna change it.
Didn't he go to the Jets?
Yeah, he went to the Jets. So, Nicole Hardman.
Sam said Godwin better be up there.
Godwin better be up there. Yes, he is, Sammy, for sure. Godwin is like one of the easiest. He's one of the easiest high end two we've had. Marquise Hollywood Brown. We're gonna
There's so
go.
many guys on this list. Holy shit.
I know, but we're gonna get through it.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown. I'm definitely gonna go
High upside.
high upside, right? Absolutely, he really does. He's in this. He's in this with these guys. Jahan Dotson, same thing. There's a lot of guys in this. Jahan Dotson for Washington is a beast. Myers, quality number 2. Absolutely. He's a quality number 2. I think he's now a Raider.
Wait, that's Jacoby, right?
Huh?
Jacoby Myers?
Jacoby Myers, yeah.
Yeah.
Next is Jamar Chase. Not much to say. An elite player.
Washed.
Really
washed. Absolutely terrible. Can't win Super Bowls. I'm just kidding. But
Jamison Williams for the Lions.
I think he has high upside, but I'm gonna.
I know he has high upside, but I'm putting as an interesting prospect because he's just too young.
Nathan Benham said, "Go Bears."
Oh, Nate's in there. Let's go. Nate's in here. Let's go, man. Yes, sir.
Sorry if I mispronounced your last name. That's just how it was pronounced.
Yeah. So Jarvis Landry.
Fell off a little bit from when he was on the Saints.
He's a quality number 2.
Yeah, I would say quality slot, quality number 2.
Now Juju, who's a Patriot, and he's going to be basically their number 1.
Which he's not a number 1 by any stretch of the imagination. Again,
So,
another TikTok star.
Huh?
Another TikTok star. He's more worried about what's going on TikTok rather than contributing to a Chiefs championship, which they ended up winning. But
notice how we got the 2 TikTokers in the same chase.
Yeah, exactly.
Quality number 2, guys. Julio Jones, washed up. Sorry, man.
Washed
up. AJ Green, Julio Jones, two of the greatest wide receivers of our generation. You guys are watching at this point. I'm sorry about that. See that happen, y'all. Kenny Galladay, washed up.
No, terrible. There should be. Hang on. Sorry. There should be another category that says absolutely awful and should not be in the NFL anymore. And Kenny Galladay would fit that description and play in the XFL. He caught. As a Giants fan, he caught 1 touchdown for us in a game that didn't matter against the Eagles and got paid ridiculous amounts of money just to, pardon my French, ass up the place. So I have no respect for Kenny Galladay. I hate him so much, and I wish he wasn't even on this list because he should be out of the league.
Well, Keeb.
Sorry for that rant.
I helped you out, and I made a new tier for him.
Oh, Kenny Galladay's tier.
I got Kenny Galladay's tier for Kenny Galladay. I actually watched him live. I watched him. He was on the Lions.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that.
Nope, because it was a Bills-Lions game in Josh Allen's rookie season, and he was absolutely incredible, and he played so well. And I was like, oh, shit, this guy's amazing. He kept on making play after play on Trey White.
I'm sorry he was a fraud when you watched him. I don't know.
Yeah. He was a fraud, I guess. All right. KJ Osborne, actually a really, really solid number 2 option to Minnesota. I'm going to say he's like a high-end slot. I love Osborne. I really do. John,
KJ Osborne, yeah.
So you really feel like Kevin Good.
I'm sorry. I could go on a 7-hour rant about how bad Kenny Galladay is.
I hear you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So yeah, KJ, I love him as a high-end slot. I really do. Obviously they have the new rookie, so he might become the number 2. But
wait, did I get the name wrong? No, I said Osborne, right?
Yeah, KJ Osborne.
Yeah. I thought I said Hamler for a second.
No. Oh yeah, because there's also KJ Hamler. KJ Hamler is next.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect.
He's right here. He's an interesting prospect. I really like him. He's really fast. Denver Bronco. I believe he's still there. Very good player. He's a very good player. He was very good in college, but he's still an interesting prospect. He hasn't proved himself yet. So he can kind of be here, but I'm just gonna put him here because he's an interesting prospect.
Oh, by the way, the
Ooh,
Mets
Laviska Chenault. He,
interesting.
yeah, interesting prospect. He's good. I like him as well. Alan Lazard is a Jet now.
By the way, the Mets won 7-2.
That's beautiful. Quality slot for Alan Lazard. He really is. That's where he is. He's with these dudes. Terrence Marshall. I'm gonna say undecided, unproven. I don't.
Yeah.
Do your owl thing. I don't know who that. Where's Kevin White on this list? Nate. These guys are we're only doing guys that are in the league. They have to be in the league, man.
You know, where's Victor Cruz? I'm really confused.
Victor Cruz, guys. Where's oh man, what a legend Kevin White was, man. I remember him in like Madden 16. He was supposed to have incredible speed, and then no. Marvin Jones. Ooh, Marvin Jones. Ooh, what do you think?
Interesting or quality?
Interesting for Marvin Jones. Marvin Jones is a beast.
Oh, sorry.
You're hating on.
I'm unfamiliar with this game.
We're gonna go with the high side. I'm unfamiliar. Yo, should we do what Keith's unfamiliar with?
Yeah.
We low key should. Terry McLaurin, borderline.
Oh, borderline.
Look at the players that he's with in that borderline, and then look at the elite. Is he really an elite guy?
No. I was thinking borderline or high end, whatever. But I would go somewhat elite. Yeah. John
Mechie, he's put him in the Keeblers unfamiliar. Undecided, unproven. You're unproven, man. You haven't proven anything. Mike Evans. Oh boy, this is gonna be an interesting one. Let's
watch. I'm kidding.
What do you think for Mike?
Mike Evans.
He's getting there in age. He's getting there in age. I will say, not why I won't say him as Wash. Right, but
Big Mike.
For Big Mike, we're gonna.
He's not somewhat elite anymore.
But isn't Mike Evans and Keenan Allen like the same person?
Keenan Allen's a little younger now.
Is he?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I'm gonna check it out real quick. Mike Evans is currently 29.
Yeah, Mr. Consistently falling off.
Chill, he's great. And Keenan's 31. So honestly, man, it's hard to Mr. Consistency. It really is. So
I mean, I feel bad
because
he's gonna have to
put him in that. It really is.
He's gonna have to catch passes from Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just lagged or not, but
I'll be right back.
What's going on, chat? Mike Evans is the most underrated wide receiver in the league. Absolutely not. Sam said Giants fans are lame. The Buccaneers suck now that Tom Brady's gone. Cope about it, please. What up, Kev? I don't know who you are, but what's good? This is only my second podcast, so got to get familiar with the names. But yeah, Mike Evans. I don't know. He's starting to fall off, like I said.
Sorry, y'all. I'm back. You shut that door? I'll shut the door. Yeah, I shut it. So we're talking Mike Evans. All right, then, y'all. I'm back. We're gonna go.
How is Brady a stupid pick by the Bucks?
Oh shit! The comment section is popping up. Wait, Mike Evans is the most underrated league. Okay, Giants fans are lame. What up? What up, Kev? When you guys
just given Baker Mayfield's track record of what he's been going through, I think Kyle Trask wins that job.
Sam, who is a Bucks fan, just said that Brady was a stupid pick by the Bucks. He
Yeah,
wouldn't
and brought them a championship. So against the Chiefs.
Would you
So.
have rather, Samantha? Would you have rather had
Would
James?
you rather have Tom Brady or Kyle Trask? I think the option is pretty clear right there.
Or James Winston again? Not sure, man. Now, where's Mike Evans on this? We're gonna put him to borderline elite. Sorry, y'all. And I'm gonna put him next to Keenan Allen because they're the same person in my opinion.
Borderline elite? What?
Yes.
All right, whatever.
What's the last time the Giants going? She got Tom Brady, got a championship, and now she's
all right. We got
like,
one in 2012, but like we made the playoffs this year and won a game. So. Let me know when you guys. Let me know when you guys can beat the Cowboys, please.
No, bro. Mike Williams, Big Mike. This is Big Mike. If anybody's Big Mike, Mike Williams. This guy, we're gonna say a high upside for Mike Williams.
I thought you were putting him in the what's that say? Solid fourth option. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
I was like, what?
Mooney. Oh, sure. He was like a number 1 for the Bears, and now he's a quality 2. Like, I'm sorry.
Quality two with high upside for what he's going to do for that system.
Fair enough. Oh, that's MVS. Quality slots. No? You don't think so?
I just think that he did not have a good year last year whatsoever by any stretch of the imagination.
But he's still dude. He's still in that.
Isn't he on the Jets now too?
Yeah. No, MVS is a Chief.
Oh. Yeah. I was gonna say because they got what Lazard.
They got Lazard, Randall Cobb.
They got the entire Packers wide receiver room.
Yeah. Nelson Aguilar, you suck. So
Wash. Kenny Golladay.
Okay. I can't do that because that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna put him in. Oh wait, we're just playing we're putting bad players in solid 4 option. I forgot about that. AKA like bad.
Yeah.
Can I change it?
Bro, I will be right back. Keep moving with the list. I really have to use the bathroom.
You got it, man. We're gonna go. Keeps going. We're gonna go AKA bad for that list, right? It's guys that, come on, like Amari Rodgers, not a very good player. We're gonna continue right here. When we're talking Odell Beckham Jr., oh man, this is an interesting one. I'm gonna put him in quality 2 with high upside, just because like the Ravens could totally use him as that type of high upside guy because they got him for such a low amount of money. So that's what I'm thinking for that for Odell. Awesome player. He really is. But it's what he is at this point. Chris Olave, we're gonna go with interesting prospect. He still is. He's still in that. I can't just put him in like one of these high positions where he doesn't belong. That's just where I'm thinking. Where did I actually put him though? Did I just mess up? I don't know where he is. This boy, Zaccheo, or is it Zacchaeus? We're going to say unproven. Pickens, very interesting prospect. He has such a potential. Quez Watkins, kind of a solid bad guy. Bateman, prospect. Rager, very bad. Don't love Rager at all. Renfro. Keeb, I found another slot guy. Okay. Yeah, we found one with Hunter Renfro, high-end slot guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so for sure. Get over there. Back over there. High-end slot guy for Hunter Renfro. Actually, yeah. It's a little tough, but to put him there, but I have to. Now, when we move on to Calvin Ridley, oh wow, I'll let Keeb have this one. Keeb, we're on to Calvin Ridley.
Sorry about that, chat. Borderline elite.
Really?
Think about what he was doing before the suspension. Obviously, I mean, I can't blame him. I'm a big sports betting guy myself, but kind of stupid. Kind of stupid to do it over like $1,200. Yeah, borderline elite. Who was it? Devontae Adams that said that he's still a top 5 wide receiver in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would put him borderline elite till he proves himself, and I think that you can even put him at elite by the end of the year.
Okay. Wow. So you're high on him.
Yeah. I love
Chosen Anderson.
Kenny Galladay. Kidding.
Chosen Anderson. We're gonna say he's like a. I'm gonna put him here. There.
Yeah.
Robert Woods.
Nope.
He's right here, man. You're right there. Rondell Moore. You're right there, man. We're getting to like we are right there, man. it's the same exact thing for all of these guys, you know. Sterling Shepard, Robert Woods, Rondell Moore. Y'all are in that quality. Y'all quality, man. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I agree with Kev. I would say that he's probably closer to washed.
Who are you talking about?
Chosen Anderson.
He's washed.
He's on the fall off, yeah.
Well, he keeps changing his name.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what his name is. That's not good. Sky Moore.
I'm so high on Sky Moore.
Yeah, so we're gonna go high upside. What did I just do? This is hard to like. Where'd Sky Moore just go?
Like right under your cursor, I think. No, that's Drake London.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't know where he just went.
Sky Moore, where'd you go? Come out wherever you are.
I don't even see where he is, man.
Wait, what the? Did he go back down?
No. Sky Moore, I don't really know where you are.
What the? Wait, hang on.
He's not here.
I can navigate this. Give me a second.
Can you? Oh, he's right here, man. All right, we're gonna put you in.
Yeah, he's under quality to like third from the left. Yeah,
I got him. He's in high upside. Michael Thomas. Woo! He's in that tier right here. Is he not?
No.
What do you think?
When he's not crying about his toe, he's a very good player.
So what?
I'm still putting him high end.
Okay. High end 2.
High end 2, high end slot, wherever you want to go with that.
And he's not a slot guy. He's a slant guy.
That's fine. Slant boy.
Slant boy, yeah. Kadarius Toney.
I love Kadarius Toney. I'm so upset that we got rid of him.
You love him. He hates you.
Yeah, I know he hates me, but I'll still give him a high five and a hug.
I'm gonna put Kadarius Toney in that. You know what? Quality number 2.
No, but he's not number 2 by any stretch of the imagination.
What is he?
I'd say again, it's a quality slot.
Okay. Fair enough. Traquan Smith. Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
Dwight Hilton's so washed up, man. I'm sorry. Tyler Boyd. Hey, Tyler Boyd is a perfect quality slot.
Yeah.
He's that. That's what he is. Thornton, unproven. Tyreek Hill.
Elite.
Yeah, I think that we can actually save him for the last one. Van Jefferson is
washed.
He's right here. Wandale Robinson. What do you think about Wandale?
Wandale Robinson.
He's undecided. I'm undecided.
What? I'm decided.
What do you decide? I'm decided.
I am decided, I said.
Okay.
Wandale Robinson. Again, the card market loves him, like sports cards.
Yeah.
I think that he takes a giant step in where the Giants utilize him this year. I think he can move up to wide receiver 3.
He's an interesting prospect, you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's fair for now.
Sammy Watkins, I'm sorry, my man. You were a Bill at one point, but you're washed up. Sorry, dude.
Yep.
Christian Watson. Christian Watson is actually going to be in that high upside. Oh, actually, no. What?
No.
He's high end too, dude.
What?
He's amazing.
All right.
He's amazing.
All right.
He is. And then
I'm
Tyreek
unfamiliar
Hill.
with his game.
He's the Packers star from last year, bro.
The guy that caught a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, and then we got Tyreek Hill and Elite, of course, no doubt about it. So this is our list, guys. We got Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Vontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill and Elite. I think those guys are all elite. We have Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, CD, Debo, DJ, DK, Terry, and Calvin, and borderline elite. T. Higgins, Amari, Jalen, Devontae, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, Michael Thomas, and Christian Watson in high end 2. The slot guys, Thielen, Osborne, and Renfro. A lot of guys in high upside. Cooks for the Cowboys, Parker, Slayton, Judy, Pittman, Gallup, Wilson, Brown, Jahan, Darnell Mooney, Marvin Jones.
A
lot of names. Mike Williams, Odell, and Sky Moore. I did put Odell in high upside because he was, such a small.
Before his ACL injury, he was a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sutton, Ayuk, Lockett, Claypool, Samuel, Myers, Landry, Juju, and Chosen Anderson in quality 2. Allen, Robinson, Corey Davis, Deontay, Mecole, Lazard, MVS, Rondale. These guys, y'all know, man, just the same tier. They're all in the same tier. I don't think we messed up once in this one.
Let me read the last tier.
Yeah, you can do that. Interesting prospects, guys that are on the come up, but we don't know if they're going to be stars just yet. Pierce, Burks, Duvernay, Chark, Drake London, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave, KJ Hamler, Chenault, Pickens, who's going to be a star. We know that. Bateman and Wendell Robinson. Yeah. And then solid fourth option, a.k.a. kind of bad. Amari Rodgers, Jamison Crowder, Elijah Moore, Dwayne Eskridge, Russell Gage, Aguilar, Watkins, Patrick, Jalen Rager, and Van Jefferson. Sorry, y'all. Didn't work out. Unproven dudes that we literally just don't know much about, Then we got
they were good. We would
some of the greatest of all time here, really, and Julio and AJ Brown, T.Y. Hilton, Sammy Watkins. You guys are just washed, man. It's time to hang them up. You were really, really good in your heyday. And then Kenny Galladay.
And then coming in at the last tier, ultimate bag fleecer, Kenny Galladay.
There you go. Kenny Galladay's got his own tier. And that's it, man. A lot of players, a lot of receivers. Next week we're going to be running backs. And so, yeah, that's it for us, man. It's Tuesday night.
If you want, I'm down to do another ranking of a different position.
No, we're done for tonight, man.
Oh,
We're about an hour and 20 into this. As per usual, guys, we have more shows coming up this week. Johnny wasn't able to join us this week. He'll be back next week for sure on Tuesday. We got Bite Size, The Bounce. We got Thursday night talking some NBA draft. All those guys that were drafted. Wemby, Brandon Miller. The Thompson brothers. Scoot. Yep. So absolutely, those dudes. We're going to be talking about those on Thursday, and then we got late night, early morning, all that stuff. We got a show basically every single day, talking every single sport. Another Damn Fantasy podcast happens as well with Trevor, and I'm very excited for that as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. It's been a pleasure, Zach. I'm about to hang out with him right now. So have a great night, everybody.
You're 20 feet from me.
We'll talk soon, y'all. Thank you so much. Not enough.